I started very gently, obviously using the online system, the Blackboard system that we have, and just using the discussion board to get students familiar with the idea of posting regularly. I then invited students to create a blog using public access software, so open access software, and they could choose any platform that they liked. I didn't specify. And I wanted it to be open access rather than university, because I know we have internal blogs, but I wanted this to be something that they could take with them beyond graduation and access, and that they could also make accessible to other people. So it had to be something that wasn't just bound by a semester, because many of these students are actually working and engaged in projects now, so I wanted it to be useful to them. And then what we did is we created a wiki and used that to house all the blogs. So I basically created links to every student's individual page and grouped them according to topics so that students could go and see what other students were doing and make comments on each other's blogs. And then at the end of semester, we evaluated their work through some peer assessment. These are master students. They come from about 14 different program areas, and they're in a class called Community Planning, Engagement and Governance. And so the first objective is just to get students talking, because they don't come from the same discipline area. They have very different ways of approaching the subject. So part of my goal was to get them just communicating. The second thing was that feedback from previous years is that because the class is taught in workshop mode, and that's quite deliberate because a lot of the students work full-time and find it easier to get a day off than to get weekly lecture time off. But it does mean students don't have the same close connection each week, and they find it harder to build networks. So I was looking for something that would encourage ongoing dialogue, even though they weren't physically present in the classroom. And so part of what I was trying to do was to get students to engage with each other and with the world, and I was hoping that a flexible blended learning classroom environment would help them do that. As you'd expect, the results were really mixed. It was pretty much a bell curve, from those that resisted and hated every moment of it through to those that absolutely loved it and are still talking about it now. And what was particularly exciting was that the blog enabled them to capture the process as well as the outcome, and they were reflecting on that as they went. And then the people in public who were part of that project were also reflecting on their reflections. So it was learning at multiple levels, and yeah, they're very excited. And even some students who were resistant to technology or found it hard, at the end of the semester said to me that they were really glad they were forced to do that. It's given them a different skill set, and even though they might not do it again, they appreciated that. At the other end of the spectrum were the students who didn't embrace the technology, didn't see it as relevant, and really struggled with it. They still participated and made it work. Quite a few of them had some ethical dilemmas, so they just chose topics that weren't appropriate to be in the public domain, so we had to negotiate alternative boundaries around that, about who could and could not access the sites and how they could manage that. They were either controversial topics, or some of them were working for private enterprise where it wasn't appropriate to put things out in public space because of the role they were in. So there were a few of the ethical dilemmas I hadn't thought about. And then there was another group of students who just wrestled with the technology the whole time, and I don't think I'd anticipated how hard that was going to be. So I'd never blogged before, I'd never set up a wiki, and I was pretty new to computer technology. So I was basically staying about a month ahead of the class. And I took the view that if I can do it, they can do it.